Hello, all you wonderful beings out there, and welcome to the stream. I am Razim, currently a Squirrel Lucario. And we're going to be working on our Scar system today with DevTales. So yeah, let's go and chill and get into it and focus a little bit, and yeah. Just gonna do that, and then that. That should be good enough. Yeah, you mentioned that earlier. You didn't actually explain what you meant by that, Era. Wait, you broke your keyboard too, Ido? How? What the heck are you all up to? Oh, that's what you mean, Ido. Okay. Oh, jeez, Era. Okay. So let's go ahead and start with intrinsic feats and the special movement feats, I think. Yes, Sarah, that's what I plan to work on. I definitely could use help. I don't have much inspiration for it. Well, I mean, by all means, Era. And yes, Gib Gab, swapped from Sea of Thieves to DevWork. I know, not super entertaining. But Tal is a cruel taskmaster. You know what? I know where we can start with feats. Down here. Hello, Pikash. Not sure what you mean with those, Era. Right now, I'm thinking of starting with the maneuver feats, because we literally already have those, you know, most of them already in here. Yeah, Bakesh, I welcome a friend in voice. Though, actually, I will be right back. I'm gonna go grab a... I was literally just about to go to do that, right, Jin? I was just about to go grab one of my code reds. Alright, I am back. Sorry about that, everybody. Hello, Bakesh.
Hello! I heard that the zoo trip was fun and entertaining.
It was fun. It was entertaining. It was also excruciating.
Lots of walkies.
Lots of walkies and shoes that, they were brand new shoes. And they seemed like they were big enough, and the more I walked in them, no, definitely were not the right size.
The more your feet swell because you were walking, and the more the heat swell because you're walking, and next thing you know, you're wearing 2 oven pans.
It was more that they were literally, crushing my toes into each other.
Oh, hey there's Olat. A big lion hug. Yeah, I make sure if I've got new shoes before I go to any sort of big event, it's have some walkies. I've learned.
Unfortunately, in that circumstance, it was either wear those or wear my big combat boots.
Ooh. Well, you're home and you can have your feet soak and massage and get the swelling out.
Yeah, they're not hurting as much today. There are definitely big blisters on them. And my trying to get my socks on was a pain, which means that they definitely swelled, but hey, at least the pain's mostly gone.
I can just imagine. I have learned walking anime cons on those concrete floors. Even just standing and selling for a day, my feet were like, oh, this sucked. Hello there, Raijin, and Dragon, and Stabgab, and Ren.
Zolette, I actually have... So when I was a kid, literally a year apart from each other, I injured both ankles. Or, 1 year was one ankle, then the next year was the other ankle. They were treated as sprains. Years later, when I was an adult and had issues in that area, turns out that no, they were not sprains, they were actually fractures. And at this point, the bone has been rubbed smooth to the point where, they're basically permanently fractured. So, I need the ankle support. Hence, I like to wear boots. But big, heavy-duty combat boots are not very conducive to walking around in, summer heat for hours on end.
Yep. The Geb stab. Stab borb.
So I had gotten another pair of boots. I hoped that they would be big enough for me and they would work. And, no, they did not work. And Gib Gab, I would go for malpractice, except that would require that my mom actually worked with me to find the medical records for the ones that diagnosed the sprain.
And depending on what state you're in, duration is already passed, so you'll get told, tut tut, these things happen, and get a cookie. If you're lucky, you get a cookie. Which today's cookies are hide and seek black noir bourbon cookies. Indian import. Artificially flavored cream sandwich cookies with a black chocolate with the big sugar crystals outside and vanilla cream inside. We can share. Have you been fed and squished today there, Zim?
Yes.
Good.
But yeah, since that day...
I hope you have...
Since I discovered that that misdiagnosis happened, I have very much been. I rely on my intuition because I felt like that wasn't just a sprain. It hurt it hurt a lot, but of course I was a kid and nobody listened to me. And well, here we are years later. Oh, good luck with that era. But yeah, it's happened to me a few times since then. I had a moment years ago where I stood up from my computer, went to walk, and my knee bent backwards. That was excruciating as hell.
I can just that.
I cannot stand. You know, when I see somebody get an injury to the knee of any kind, I get squeamish at this point because holy crap.
Mine just occasionally collapse.
Yeah, I went to the ER for the knee, and they told me that it was. They tried telling me that it was some kind of fluid vessel behind the kneecap that burst, and I just need to walk it off. I'm like, no, fuck you, fuck that, I ain't doing that. That is not what's going on here. I want an MRI. Well, unfortunately, we can't give you one. You're gonna need to go see a specialist in a week if the pain continues. No! And I literally called them up the next day and called for the specialist. The specialist didn't even want to see me, and I'm like, you're gonna see me. I got something wrong here. It needs fixed. It is not what they said. Go into the specialist, and they're like, no, that seems to be all in order. That seems to be what's going on. And I'm like, no, it is not. Send me for an MRI. And they hemmed and hawed until I finally was like, either send me for an MRI or I will just go with it by myself and sue you for malpractice if you decide if there is something on there. Well, that got them to turn around, and they finally sent me for the MRI, and oh gee, it wasn't that some sort of fluid burst. No, I literally partially tore every single ligament and muscle and such in my knee. If I had gone with what they were telling me to do, I would have needed surgery. But because I vouched for myself and fought and argued, well, I did not need surgery because I was able to get proper treatment for it. But I will say it was so satisfying seeing that doctor's face when I went in to get the results of the MRI. They hadn't even looked at the MRI yet when I showed up for that follow-up. And their face, I could see the color draining from it. It was, I could see they were like, oh, we almost had a malpractice suit of a freaking nightmare. And then they gave me good meds, so, you know, that helped.
Ah, tasty meds. Hey there, Ido. So what made you decide to switch from Yar, the scurvy seas, to working on game?
Well, I wanted to do this from the get-go today, but Rex wanted to do something with me, and it's like, sure, we can do that for a little bit.
Okay. And yeah, it seems to be a pretty quiet night for American streamers. There's not many on tonight versus last night, where I mean, everyone and their grandmother was on.
Well, it is Memorial Day, so a lot of people are probably out. I think they do, some places do fireworks for tonight. Otherwise, I know it's a big barbecue night.
Yeah, also big storm night too. You look at the weather radar and it's like, bleh. I mean, we got another big chunk up above us, but looks like I'll just get the little tail end.
Zolette, that is a big part of why I have been dragging my heels on working with Feats. Or working on the Feats. It's just the fact that I have no idea what to really do with them.
Oh, so you fear the agony of defeats?
Bad.
Dad bear joke. I know, it was pretty grisly, but it had to be thrown. You threw out the defeat joke.
Really? You're bringing out Grizzly now?
I'm looking at bear art at the moment. Of course I'm bringing up Grizzly. I'm just laughing at these AI artists trying to charge $15 for a picture that's AI generated. And it's not even yours original. It's a copy. So basically, they'll sell it to, 10,000 people for $15 a shot, claiming, here's your original. And it's like, no, it's AI generated. You keep the original because you AI generated it.
Hey there, Secret Roo, by the way. And yeah, AI art is good for inspiration. It's good for a few small applications. But never try to mistake it for actually being art.
Well,
AI
then you
is...
can't be, sorry.
AI is a toy.
I mean, you can't be a Hasbro employee then, because, their newer books are going to be AI arted and AI assisted generated, along with their magic cards, apparently.
Well, yeah, you can't be anyways because, they fired all their artists.
Well, they never really had any artists. They had people on retainer. It's more like they fired anybody who really gave a darn and knew the game, and then just put in some bean counters. Oh, I know, Zolette, but I mean, I'm just laughing. Like, I mean, these people are charging anywhere from $1 to $15 per copy of an AI generated art. At least they state right in their thing, AI art.
Some of them.
Oh no, all the ones that I've looked at so far on DeviantArt are AI, 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 AI.
I think DeviantArt might have some specific rules on that, but I've seen some on a couple drifting around Telegram that don't, they don't admit that they're using AI. Of course, Twitter, the Discord bots,
Yeah, I don't use Twitter and I don't use the other one, Discord. Yeah, but I haven't seen any of that yet.
I know there was also I also had a lovely, oh, my brain just died on where I was going to go with this.
Oh yeah, Hasbro's just gone. Sadly, cash cow. Which is why all the old books are selling like hotcakes. When you just look at the train wreck on eBay for old D&D books or old modules, and you just laugh. I mean, even some of the compiled reprints, because that company no longer has the rights to print them. They're sometimes selling for $500 or $600.
Okay.
The only
Hey there, Orca. On subject here, real quick. What category should I put the maneuver feats under? Like, most of them are for combat-related stuff. The only outlier that I really can think of here for maneuvers would be the assist maneuver. Okay, so all should be under combat. Yeah. I mean, I guess they don't all have to be under the same category anyways. We could put the assist feat under, general. So the assist feat goes under general, but the rest of them pretty much goes under combat. I could do that.
And hi there, Orca. I see your kinfolk are in the news again.
Well, I guess that begs another question then, Era. Do we want to have sub-feat categories? I guess it could be useful if we wanted to get super complicated with if we wanted to go the route of, like, Pathfinder with feats, where, this feat requires that you have this, another feat in this category with this subcategory.
Oh, prerequisite feats.
I am leaning towards having those.
Yeah, like, I mean, if you have the basic feat, then you got advanced dodge. Oh, you need to have basic dodge before you can take advanced dodge. Yeah, that works.
Era, are you up for joining voice? I feel like this could probably go a lot faster with you on voice. Spooky, that's not what we're talking about.
I can try and be here for a bit.
Thank you.
Dragon face.
Yeah, I'm currently disassembling some things and trying to do a deep clean on certain parts. So excuse me if you hear a lot of clinking, because I've got a cup here full of stuff that I don't want on my skin. But great for cleaning gear.
Clink.
Fair enough.
Clink, clink.
I mean, probably easier for you, so you don't have to, be trying to type while doing all that. But yeah, some clinking's fine. So
The subcategories are just nice for organizational purposes, which is why I suggest them, because somebody might remember the main category or the subcategories of maneuvers, and if you're searching a subcategory, it just makes life a little bit easier. That's the only reason why I suggested them.
Fair. And it could have it set up for if we wanted to put in some of those kinds of feat trees where it's like, okay, you can pick up this feat if you've got one of this subcategory of feat.
Yes, and as a side note, I don't mind feat trees as long as they're not more than 3 feet deep. Otherwise, you're playing the game of feat tax.
I am debating on that.
Uh-oh.
I don't think we'll go that deep. I will say that. But... And I do not want any feats that are like, yay, I get a +2 to these 2 skills that I'm never going to use. But I had to pick up this feat to get the feat I actually want.
Yeah.
I don't plan
that up in Pathfinder a lot, so...
Yeah, I don't plan to go that kind of route. I want every one of them to be useful.
Yeah, but the 2 to 2 stats that you say are bad could be some other person's, prerequisites to get better stats.
Well, yes, but... Like...
And we shouldn't lock them to races, holy goodness.
Oh, definitely not.
Yeah,
Feats
any
can be
race
fine on
can
their own,
tumble.
but there are certain feats that are buried in Pathfinder that are behind in like entire lines of feats that really don't make sense. I toss a lot of that out for my players a lot. Where I'm just like, no, we're not going to make you grab dodge, spring attack, being able to hold a sword backwards and do a backflip before you're able to stab somebody in the chest. No, that's pedantic.
Yeah, feat walls.
Yes.
You need to have this blocked, in order to assemble a feat wall. Dun, da, da, da.
But two-weapon fighting into advanced two-weapon fighting, where you're a little bit better at two-weapon fighting than most people, into being able to use one of your weapons as a shield as long as you're holding two weapons is fine. That's a 3 feat, and they're all pretty particular to two-weapon fighting.
Yeah, but that's a logical short chain. Whereas,
Yeah.
Hasbro has been bad at making feat walls, where it's
Well,
like, you need to
not
dabble in all these
Hasbro,
other-
it's Paizo.
Well, that's because Paizo built off of 3.5, and 3.5 had them, but they were at least slightly more.
Slightly.
Yeah.
It depends. They didn't. The 3.5 idea was that you got a bunch of feats anyways. They made you work for it sometimes. But then you could take 3 steps to the left, and the feat was written somewhere else in this other book a different way. And if you took that version, you only needed 1 feat to be able to take it.
Yep, power creep.
Then you grabbed the Dragon magazine and found it where you could technically get it for free at first level if you took this alternate class ability.
Yes, good old power creep.
I enjoyed it, thank you.
One thing that I think we should decide.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to have different costs for each feat? Or do we want to go the route of basically feat trees? So that way, instead of having, okay, this feat costs 50 XP and this one costs 20, we could have two, this one costs 20 and leads into this one, which altogether it costs 40, but essentially, it requires the first one.
Uniform pricing for ease and for power scaling.
Okay.
And balance. It's better than sitting down than trying to figure out what an XP cost to certain things should be over another. It's better to say all feats are going to be 20 and balance it off of that instead.
Yeah,
like
and
that
remember,
idea.
this is version 1.0. There could always be a 1.2 revision, whatever, where, you could fiddle with it for races or something.
Well, we don't have races, but I will say this is probably closer to like 0.6 or 7. Probably closer to the 0.6.
We're in beta.
Beta.
Oh, God. Oh, goodness.
So great, we got Zim looking almost like Era, and Era looking almost like Zim. It's kind of interesting.
Where?
Look at your horn placements, for example. Look at the ear placements. And even the little pluff of hair right in the middle.
Ah,
Look, it's Nuggies! Nuggies!
hello. You make it home?
Yeah, I am home. I'm speaking to you from my home in the Minneapolis metropolitan area.
Well, maybe don't dox yourself, but nice.
No, no. I didn't say what I live in the metro. The metro's a big area. There'd be no way in hell that anyone would probably be able to find me within the 3.5 million people that live here.
Oh, I could just make 3 phone calls and know exactly where you live.
Okay, anyone who doesn't have connections to things. I don't know what kind of connections Era even has that he could do such a thing.
There were a
Military,
couple of people in my
police,
house the
private
other
eyes.
day talking about one of your exes. That kind of connections. I know everybody. Either way, moving on.
So yeah.
Alright. I am thinking that specialties will be cheaper than feats. Because
Honestly, I was going to tell you maybe feet should be around 25. Sorry.
No, you're good. I'm just contemplating.
there.
Oh, come on. Verb. I ran out of Q-tips.
Looks like you're clear of all the storms, by the way, too. There, Sky.
Oh, nice.
Oh my god, Gib Gab.
What?
Yeah, no, I was about to say that's pretty bad, Gab.
I don't like to call people I used to be with my ex. I prefer to call them my Twitter.
Eh.
Da 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 da. Won't touch that.
If you get 3 of them, you could have XYZ.
You're fired.
I was hired.
You were. Now you're not.
I just, talk about food and listen to the pattering sound of rain. I mean, Zim having a little drool.
I'm leaning towards 20 XP per feat.
So just under the cost of a mastery?
Yeah. Between the two, you know?
We can always give it a try. The only reason why I said 25 is because I felt that if we put it at something around 25, we could always equate it to being the equivalent power of everything equivalent power to a mastery, which technically is more expensive that in the short run, or
You know?
in the long run, because technically a mastery to get it something from a specialty to a mastery is still 40 experience.
You know, I like that idea. It would make it easier to balance. So yeah, 25 XP sounds good.
And then we can always say that it's the equivalent thereof. Bearing in mind that you're not supposed to get feats quite as often.
Well, one thing that that we are going to have with feats is that they will need to be approved by the storyteller. Which, again, I mean, it's just like with specialties. Well, I mean, yeah, it's all... My brain is in about 3,000 different places at once right now.
You're fine. I'm currently incorrectly popping out an assembly out of a keyboard because I don't care if this old one works anymore.
It just means that your brain is bouncing in from idea to idea like a rich and fertile field, scattering seeds all about. And from all those seeds, soon great ideas will grow like shrubbery.
Unless the birds get to them first.
Well, yeah, I mean, we've got Stab Gab here.
I mean, and you got me. I'm a burb. Don't forget.
Yes, but you're also considered technically a food group to some people.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for someone to get a cosplay thing of, McNuggies, and it's going to have, a volley flavor, dip with it.
I mean, there's several art pieces on FA of Volley Nuggies.
Oh yeah, I've seen the art pieces, but I meant as a cosplay prop. Of course, we just had our giant anime con this weekend, and oh man, was that packed with people. Like over 100,000 or some ridiculous number.
All right.
I mean, when you got to spread it out over a convention center and 8 hotels, it's like, yeah, it's an event. It's a party.
Okay. That's as far as I'm going to go with this tonight. You got my full attention for the 9 minutes I am awake.
Hooray!
Ouch.
Well then, give me 9 minutes worth of feats to add.
Well, you got the ones already included, right? You've already copied those over? The ones
Not
you were
yet,
talking
but I
about
can
from the others?
still... No, but I've only got you for 9 minutes, so those can be done later.
Well, obviously, we need the improved initiative feat because there are people that will abuse the crap out of that, aka Viv.
Do we really need that when we've got the initiative skill?
Yeah, because people are always going to try and boost it to go first.
Yes. Oh, yes.
How would it even work?
Static bonus to the flat die roll.
Yeah, like +1, +2, +5, whatever your system's set up to be.
True. Well, that wouldn't be a bad idea. So that way, if you roll crap, you still at least have that guaranteed. Okay, that's a good idea. Alright. Combat. Improved. Actually, we'll call it reliable initiative. We're going to delete this column because we're not doing different things.
I would just hide it for now. Oh well.
Oh no, this is a proposal doc, so, you know. I could just add that column back in. It's a sheets one.
Let's see, what else can I bring up with? We're going to want our normal giving up accuracy to hit harder power anagram.
Oh, yeah, -2 to hit, but +2 on damage? Yeah.
Yep.
And of course, dodge, advanced dodge.
I'm not sure whether or not dodge would be the go-to in this system.
Pick a party member's pocket and blame it on an NPC. That skill's always in play.
Alright, so I put in the reliable initiative. I'll worry about any prerequisites later.
Yeah, we'll have to rebalance it. 10 sounds like a lot, but we'll discuss that later. You're gonna want your trading accuracy for damage. Two dice for two, or 2 dots for 2 dots, probably. Whatever you want to call it, reckless attack or whatever. Heavy swing. Trying to avoid the ones that come straight out of D&D.
Yeah, heavy swing sounds good. Well, maybe heavy attack.
Dash, rapid dash,
Accuracy
movement buff,
for
super movement
damage.
buff.
You're gonna want to give me 2-weapon fighting because I will use the crap out of that. I like 2-weapon fighting.
Well, for that we need weapon feats. Or weapon stat, or rules, period.
Tell finished up the QRD the other day.
Yes.
QRD, so
Now
we're
we're
still
waiting.
futzing with it, but
Yeah, so now we're waiting on him for rules on weapons.
do you want any luck-based feats in here?
I don't think we need them.
Okay.
Considering we've got, you know, soul boost, vigor, and willpower. We've got a lot of ways for you to impact the way the dice work as is. I don't think we need anything to do more.
Well, we have the Vigor Overdrive. We could...
Duke.
Though that doesn't have a cap on it, does it?
What was that?
I was going to say there's that Vigor Overdrive thing, too. I was going to roll on, but then I realized you can burn as many points as you want with that, huh?
Yeah.
So
What
there's
about taunt?
Well, actually, no. You can only willpower or vigor once per roll by default. So that could be a good thing.
Taunt is an ability Well, I thought about making or throwing out the whole goad thing. That's just something that you can always attempt to do.
That cat looks really unhappy. Oh, sorry, Rajan.
I know the feeling, Rajan. I don't want to go to bed because I'm going to have to spend all day in the office tomorrow printing garbage. Yay.
So, weapon feats are something that will be coming, but we need to have the actual weapon stats and such first.
We're going to want our common better accuracy feats too, aren't we? But those are going to take a while, so let's skip them. Now, the situational accuracy boons are always nice.
Such as...
what is it called? Point blank shot, where you get a +1 if you're within 30 feet, etc., etc.
Oh, yeah.
But I always got bothered how there's only a handful of them that are situational, and they're only for bows, and it's like, why don't we have situational ones for a lot of other situations if we're going to have situational feats?
I mean, for Pathfinder, it applies to any form of weapon. I know it, the point blank shot actually applies to Paint's, his elemental blasts and such.
Yeah, anything ranged. But why just within 30 feet? Why don't we have one where you get a bonus if you're flanking, or a bonus this, or a bonus that? So they may exist. They're probably buried somewhere in there.
But it usually meant you had to have someone on the opposite side to get that +2 to hit, and they called it combat maneuvers, if I remember.
In Pathfinder?
No, that was in 4th.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about 4th.
4th doesn't exist.
Yeah, in 3.5 they had the whole flat-footed thing.
I was gonna say you could kind of make a joke there about it's like Bruno. We don't talk about Bruno. Oh, come on. Oh, that's a movie reference to Encanto.
I know it is. I'm just also trying to brain other things before I go to bed, which I should be going to bed now, so I'm about to leave. And also try not to think about 4E, because that 4E doesn't exist.
Yeah, I get the reference. I'm just kind of like with Era, I'm trying to focus here.
Do you have any movement feats?
He's not touching those tonight, I guess.
Well, no, I might get to those tonight. It's just those are something that I don't really need that much help brainstorming right now.
Oh, be well, Valerie.
See ya, Val.
Bye, Val. Alright, I gave you my quick shots. I think I'm going to go to bed.
Alright,
well,
good night.
If I keep on thinking, I'll start thinking, then I won't be able to stop thinking. Good night.
Have a nice blankie.
Good night.
Yeah, and I probably should start winding down as well, because I imagine the tiredness is going to hit pretty soon here from the 6-hour drive, so...
Good night.
Sleep well, Sky. Sleepy nuggy.
It was lovely seeing you, Master.
It was nice to see you.
Look forward
too.
to seeing you again.
Happy nuggy dreams. Now back down to just me.
Kenku, no, it's just that you can use it a second time on the same roll. It's pretty straightforward, Kenku.
I mean, if you want feat inspirations, I mean, you could always look and see what Ironclaw and other games have used and go, oh, well, that's nice, that's cool, I can modify that one.
I don't know most of those other systems. The ones that, for feats, the one that comes to mind is Pathfinder, and that is a fucking nightmare to look at.
Well, how many feats do you feel comfortable wanting to have in the game? 20, 50, 100? Like 10 pages?
Whatever feels good, which I don't know yet. And yes, Pathfinder First Edition has too many feats. As for item usage, I think we did cover that.
Cipher magic item?
What? Oh.
That was one of the feats that non-magic users could have for decipher magic items. Like, oh, this is clearly a wand. This is a belt. It may do this, but you really need a wizard to properly identify it. Otherwise, you can sort of fake it. Usually it was just enough that someone would fiddle with an item that they shouldn't, you know, totally curse themselves, and then the wizard would finally show up and go, yeah, that was cursed.
So for quick action, you can sheath or unsheath a weapon, bring an item out from a pocketed container or other quick access location. You cannot put away and draw out a weapon as part of one quick action. But yeah, we do have items that, like, if your item is buried in your backpack, no, you cannot pull it out as a quick action. But if your backpack's, you know, properly organized or has pockets and such, and it's in a readily available location in there.
So find item, basically.
I guess we could put in a feat, but I think that would be too much for a feat. Or not, or rather, not enough for a feat.
Just depends if you want, you know, players to suddenly frantic rummage in their backpack, see if they actually have that 10-foot thing of cord, or, you know, they make a random roll and go, well, instead you actually pulled out this.
What?
If they're frantically, you know, diving in their backpack to find something, like someone's just been poisoned, they got to find their anti-venom, or they have to find the 30-foot rope because someone's about to fall down the cliff, and, you know, you either make them do a random roll check to see if they find the item in time, or if you just go, well, you can blindly dump everything out, quickly grab the item, and then give it to the person or use it. Again, it's just how much paperwork and how much you just want to role play a situation. Like, yes, you find the rope and throw it just in time, sort of thing.
Well, that's up to the storytellers and such, but as far as the system itself goes, we're going to have specific containers that are pocketed and or otherwise have quick access, like you might have pouches or such. Which for those you can use a quick action, but for, you know, if you just got a sack and you throw all your stuff into this single sack, well, that would be a standard action to find your item. And I don't think I'm going to include a feat to reduce that to just a quick action, because that feels like it's not enough for being a feat. Because these feats are going to be more powerful than what Pathfinder has, with their taxes and such.
It's filthy taxes.
I do want to make sure that it is at least equivalent to getting a +3 bonus to a skill.
As long as you're happy with how the feat tax will be, then yeah, I mean, basically we start with simple feats, move up to the secondary and then the tertiary, or certain paths that you want.
Well, yeah, Gab, that kind of stuff is that's all equipment based stuff. That doesn't really do anything for the quick act or for we're focusing on feats right now. Not things that go into items.
You have a persuasion feat?
We've got a persuasion skill.
Okay. Is that a skill that anyone can take?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's just like skills are just like they are in every other system.
No, there's a lot of classes that certain skills take. Like, a barbarian can't take, use magic item until X level sort of thing.
Oh, yeah, we don't have anything like that. We don't actually have classes. Classes are something that I might include at some point. I don't know.
Remember, this is 0.06. Like, let's walk before we run. Yeah, so
Yeah. Well, even still, when it comes to classes, it may just be that classes give you discounts on certain other features that are already part of the system. Like, for if you pick up the wizard class, you might get discounts on the spell system, the magic system. Rather than it being, okay, you don't have access to magic unless you are a wizard. No, it's everybody can pick up magic. It's just, if you are a wizard, you have a better time of it. The main point of this system is to be very... We don't want anybody to not be able to pursue whatever they want. That's kind of the focus of the system.
Suggestions in chat.
Hunting, find food, find water, make sure... Well, those are all just things that you can do with the survival skill.
Well, I don't know if you had a survival skill or not, so I figured I'd throw those out.
You might want to take a look at the character sheet.
Yes, but that would involve me reading. And as I keep hearing sometimes, like, that's reading. That's boring.
It honestly is getting to the point where it's making me unmotivated to work on the system, though.
What, my suggestions, or just you having to think of feats?
People not reading. It's like, why am I bothering to write this stuff if nobody is going to bother to read it anyways?
I have no idea where to get the system to read all this stuff. Is there a PDF link somewhere?
Not PDF, but Google Docs, yeah.
Okay.
It is pinned up in the SCAR announcements channel.
Okay. When I get a chance to read.
We also have this domain name.
Aha. Thank you.
For
Hopefully
now, while I know reading through that would be quite a bit, let me just find which one of these frickin' tabs is the blank character sheet.
Well, when I get a chance, Carcer's like, I've also working at the moment too, so multitasking. Although it seems to be, knock on wood, a quiet night for mental health therapy on Discord. I'm grateful for that.
Oh, right. You can just access it from there. That's right. At the character sheet is. That is not what I wanted to. Ugh. Copy this. Paste that. There. That's the character sheet. Gib-Gab. Yes, we do have the basis for a parry, repose, and that kind of stuff in here with the maneuvers.
Bum, 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 bum.
And exactly, Zolette. It's like, in Carcerus, it's like, I don't even mind if you guys don't read the whole thing at any point, but as long as you read the important things, you know? Like, basically the entire combat chapter you should probably read.
But I'm not in the game.
I'm talking about the players that are.
Yes.
Better analyze the situation or individual in their presence? What do you mean by that, Carcerus?
Tactics. Inspire a party to have +1 battle morale in large battle or siege or something, I guess. Like close quarters combat is a different skill versus, using long range weapons versus using armor. Or armored vehicles, that is.
Yeah.
So I guess you'd call that battle leadership. Inspire your party, gives them +1 to a stat roll or saving throw or something for that particular round.
That's actually something that's built into the moves that you can do.
Pew pew pew.
Oh, hey there, Black-Eyed. I've been alright, how are you? Hi, Octo. Life's throwing some curveballs. I know how that kind of works. Oh, okay, Octo. Well, I hope you sleep well.
Well, Octo.
No, you're good, Carcerus. Just kind of thinking through how that might be utilized. Because I know we already have an insight skill, but I could see something to do with that. We don't actually have traits anymore, Key. We are going pure. So feats are gonna be, everything's gonna be a feat. No more traits. People were kind of up in arms over them being separate when they honestly are pretty much the same. But I do kind of like this idea. God, I really wish Tao wouldn't get upset with me with overusing the main document. It would make things so much easier. But that did give me the idea for guaranteed skill results.
Well, that's what I posted earlier for improved save. But since I didn't know what stats you had, it was like, well, improve X save, Y save, Z save.
Tal is also one of the primary developers, Spooky. While I am the main developer on this, I'm not the only one. It is a team effort. This is just one point that we disagree on, where it's like, I don't see the harm in putting work in progress stuff into the work in progress document. That while, yes, we are using it for live play, that does not mean that we can't just put it into the work in progress document. Ugh. I mean, it's something the entire community is welcome to help out with, Ren. What are you gonna say, Pikesh?
Oh, I was about to say, how many people have you granted access to the documents?
I don't remember if I actually gave access to Era, but I believe there's only 3.
Okay, that's good. Just call it alpha.
Tal keeps calling it live because it's what people are using to play with Spooky, which in a way that does make it a live document, but it's also a playtest document. Natural armor is something I want to include, Key. As well as stats to go with that, or feats to go with that. Like, basic natural armor might be an intrinsic feat. Meanwhile, GibGab, I have all of these tabs open And I want some of them gone.
Oh yeah, your whole taskbar up there is just tab, 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 tab. Diet tab.
Oh,
Wink.
this is just
Press
one
go.
window. This is just one fucking window. I can't find any of the tabs when I need them. I plead the fifth on the basis of self-incrimination, Ren.
Yeah, if you can't see how many windows you've got open, you've got too many windows open. That's what my captain told me many decades ago.
And also, Ren, that also depends on if you include the multiple other workspaces in each window. Because, like, I've got this one, which is labeled YouTube, but I really should rename it because I don't even use it. I actually use this Twitch one, the one that I labeled Twitch. Actually, I don't know if you guys can even see those labels. Okay, it looks like you can't. But anyways, this one is technically labeled Twitch, but it's what I've got YouTube on. You know, for my uploading to videos and such. And then I've got this one that's labeled YouTube, and it's actually what I'm using for the Scar dev. And I've got similar kind of setups across all of my different windows.
Then you wonder why your computer is having problems opening up a simple taskbar. And oh, there you're back.
Ow. Also, yeah, Zolette, I will say that we have a highlighting system, which is right here on page 1 of the document. Sections highlighted in green are brand new. Blue is 2 months old. Purple is 3 months old. Sections that are highlighted in yellow are valid for play, but are still work in progress on wording. And then in orange, they are not valid for play yet. They are work in progress that haven't been finished yet. And it's not like people can't pay attention to the highlights. It's not that complicated.
It depends on how many other tabs they have open while they're playing. Remember, a lot of us are very squirrel-minded when it comes to trying to keep brain focused on one task. Especially when you're playing online, you have to wait X number of minutes for everyone else's, action to be done before it comes back to you. You get very tempted to hop open a YouTube or read a book or...
Black-eyed, I would accept that. Except the other person that is, the other person that is one of the primary devs on this is also partially colorblind, and he has no issues with this. But even in that situation, it's like I have no qualms with you guys being like, hey, is this valid for play? I can't actually make out if that's this or that. And I would have been okay with that. Yes, there are different types of colorblind, Gip Gap.
Yeah, my business partner had it. I think yellow and red was his too. And a shade of green or two.
But either way, it's like I have no qualms with you. There is no perfect solution that is going to include every single person out there with different health situations. I can't
Being
do
wise.
anything about
I'm
that.
old. That's the scary thing. I might be the oldest gamer here at the moment. That was cool. Your eyes actually did roll up to your head when you did that eye roll there.
Well, that was actually me looking up at my upper monitor, but yeah.
I thought it was you were doing the eye roll, and it's like, wow, it actually tracked that.
No, it was just me glancing my other monitor because it went black on me. It tried to turn
mine's
off the
occasionally
screen.
doing that. The video card is slowly starting to fail, but I mean, considering it's 10-ish years old, pretty good.
Oh no, that's just because that's the second PC monitor, and so the second PC is like, I've been idle for so long, let's turn off. It's like, no, I will be using you at some point tonight. Don't go to sleep. And yeah, I'm doing my best that I can. I can't accommodate every single situation out there.
Nope, and don't try. You'll just die painfully.
Or I'll deal with situations like this where people are like, but what about this? Or what about that? Or what about that? If I spend all my time trying to accommodate every single thing out there, I'm going to get no dev work done.
Yes.
And then we won't even get to an end product. I'll worry about people with different problems of color blindness once I've got the fucking system done.
Yep. That's why in the meantime we're just checking out feat ideas for you, or sub-skill feats, or skill trees, or whatever. But at least we've determined that we want no more than 3 in a tree, so we can call it a link shrub.
Well, I've got no issues with more than 3, but they're going to be important ones.
I'd limited it 3 for now, because I mean we're still, learning to walk before we run. I don't think we'll ever have enough skills in one tree that they'll all graft to it.
I agree. I don't think we'll ever actually be to the point where we'll need to worry about more than 3, but I'm not going to arbitrarily limit myself just because.
And I know there's a lot of feats that can be covered by an actual statistic because it just got too picky, like detect secret doors. Well, that's just an intelligence check. And your move feat, well, improved climbing, or stay on feet versus bad terrain.
Yeah, movement is something that's going to be relatively easy to work on. It's just something that I'm going to need to actually focus to work on and not be doing so much discussion.
And specialty feats.
What do you mean by that, Carcerus? Also, as far as the haggler and such, I think when I get to the point, I'm going to be putting that underneath the guaranteed skill results, which are going to be a set of multiple feats that are going to be for each skill and whatnot.
Oh, thank you, Geemund. Oh, is that a bear pun, Gibgab? Oh?
Gibgab does not shy away from puns. He thinks he's very punny.
Yeah, but every time Gib throws one to you, that's just punishment.
I'm aware.
Uh-oh. Hey, there's a skill. Jester. fast talk and see if you can, convince the guard that you're actually Duke such and such, and you are allowed in this restricted area of the castle.
Well, yeah, that is covered under the deception skill.
Yep. See, there we go. You've got a lot of skills already, whereas many of these feats, well, this could just be covered by this skill, that skill, that skill.
Oh, yeah. But that doesn't mean that it doesn't hurt to suggest it. Because it can lead to things that I haven't thought about. So suggest away. Yeah.
So that you can go, it's like, oh yeah, that's under... Because even though I could read to see what stats you've got, what you put under each stat can be something different from someone else. Like, oh, this is normally a constitutional one. Yeah, but this is my system. I consider that more a strength skill. Okay, yep. Understandable.
Oh, okay. Good night, Black-Eyed. Key, so that is actually underneath the subterfuge skill. Though that does also... There is a thing that I have been debating when it comes to specialties and skills and feats and whatnot. And that would be required specialties or skills. Or feats. They would primarily apply to things like craft. Because, as of right now, you put 5 dots in craft, and you can craft literally anything you might want with 5 dots. I don't like that. Other systems have, for very good reason, separate craft skills. You pick up craft blacksmith, craft basket weaving, craft whatever the case may be. Same for perform. I'm very much of the mind that we need to have that sort of thing. Because being a blacksmith is extremely different from basket weaving.
Well, that would probably be specialty feats. Like, you'd be craft, but specialty feat craft, professional blacksmith. So instead of making regular armor, you can actually make armor that's worthy of being enchanted, aka magical.
The problem is that I haven't been able to get good feedback from the community on whether I should go that route of requiring something for those kinds of feats. Or for those skills.
This is where you gotta bounce off your victim sucker or gaming group friends. The ones that are actually knee-deep in this, and then, farm it out to folks like us. We're just the watchers, aka the kibitzers. Your player group should be the ones knee-deep in the nitty-gritty going, well, marksman, yeah, but do we want marksman ranged weapons? Marksman short-range weapons? Like, how much specialty do you want to specialize? Like, how many extra pages of charts do you want to throw on your characters? Because you could easily end up with the Iron Crown system where, every feat had a sub-feat, and then there was 5 separate critical systems for each weapon. It got huge fast.
Well, as of right now, Key, we do not have magic as actually part of the system. So, the only thing from that list that is actually possible in this system would be lockpicking.
Like, I'm looking right now, you've got ranged under natural, but you've got marksman under trained. Like, what's the difference between ranged and marksman? Like, ranged is use any ranged weapon, marksman is get bonuses to hit with a ranged weapon? And then you go, it's like, okay, what feats would we need to flesh these out or make them interlink?
In the main document, we do have it explained the difference between ranged and marksman, as well as brawl and melee.
Okay. Good.
ranged and brawl being under natural skills, those are for natural style attacks. Which the moves are part of that because moves are natural for Pokemon, you know, or Digimon and whatnot. Those are your flamethrower if you're a fire type kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Meanwhile,
I forgot this is Digimon based too.
yeah, it's meant for. Well, we're actually going to have our own group of critters as well, outside of just what's outside of Digimon and Pokemon, because we gotta have
Yeah.
it be able to stand on its own legs without relying on other franchises.
And of course, each one of those has their own subcategory. Like you've got Earth, Air, Fire, Water, Shadow.
Yes, we do have our own types. Um, there's 16 of them. But yeah, melee and marksman are for equipment. They are for actual weapons. Hence, they are under the trained skills category.
Okay, so natural is improvised, what you can cobble together. Trained is with an actual weapon. Like acrobatics, if you had a performing skill. Marksman, if you actually had a long bow, short bow, instead of basically just something you cobble together and hope it works. Okay.
I like that key. That's a great idea.
Medical, yeah. Or awaken. Or stabilize.
We are going to make that another part of the assist maneuver, I think. But I like that. Let's see. Let's
Administer
start.
antidote.
Well, that's just
Identify poison.
some of those are already part of it.
Yeah, but as you said, throw them out and, so
Yeah.
you can go, it's like, yep, we already got that. Yep, we got that.
Yeah.
So have you had any of the other players getting to dig in with you and start, giving feedback like this? Or is it mostly they're just all playing rather than building?
Oh, I get it sometimes.
Sometimes. Yes. Or like the GM sometimes gets the pizza when he's running the game night. Eat them at the enemy. So you've played Dungeons and Dragons before too, eh, Gib Gab? That's usually called appease the monster while the rest of you run away screaming. Uh-oh, I know. How many players have you yeeted at the monster? To appease monster. Yeah, that's the thing, Raijin. There's already so many meta skills that are already listed. You go, it's like, well, what feats need to fill in the cracks?
Oh, I know. And that it's why I've been struggling to even get started with the feat system. It's hard for me too, guys. It's difficult to figure this
no
stuff
worries.
out. So that's why I'm kind of hoping to get some ideas.
Well, that's why you got us, quote, gifted and talented kibitzers to help. I mean, appraise. Like,
kind of want to call
Or-
the improved assist feat and my axe. A nice Lord of the Rings reference.
Yeah.
As if I recall, it was, you've got my sword, you've got my bow, and then it's just, and you've got my axe. And the whole point of it is, you know, they could get help from two people by default, but if you want to help as well, you need this feat, so, and my axe. And yeah, the idea of the feats is that they are going to be more complicated. They are going to be more complex.
Deflect. Parry. Like you can deflect a ranged attack using whatever statistics you decide.
That is a good idea. I like that. Alright, let me work on this for a second.
No problem. Suddenly recalling all my bad martial arts movies and going, it's like, what sort of skills did they use? Well, like combat looting, like, you know, quickly determine the most valuable object in the room, grab it, and run.
I think I might have missed that, Raijin. Could you repost it, please?
Well, that's why old school monks were considered great, but getting them up there was so painful. I mean, they were more useless than a wizard, because at least a wizard had ranged attack, whereas your basic monk was throw pebble.
So Raijin, let me make a new channel on the Discord real quick. Okay, I have made a new channel on the Discord called Scar Suggestions. Right now, I'm not wanting to get into any weapon-based stuff, Raijin, but if you could post that into that channel, I would appreciate it, so it's more permanent than the Twitch chat, you know? Oh, right. Ah, yes. Alright, so I put in there, you know, messages may be deleted from the channel when they're implemented or otherwise decided on, just to try and keep things from getting buried and whatnot. I like that idea, GibGap. Go put that in the Discord channel for me. And yes, Raijin, I know that, but crafting is also another system that I want to have more expanded on. Right now, it's just a generalized, woohoo, you rolled this many successes, you win, here's your item. But I do want to have something more interesting than that. I just have to figure out something for it. Yeah, I like that. I like that, Raijin. And that's something definitely to keep in mind. It does relate to weapons as well, because we're still figuring out weapons. That's part of why I want to hold off on implementing it. Because we haven't quite fully decided how weapons and types and buffs and enchantments, or whatever you want to call those, are going to work with weapons and such. So it is something related to crafting, but it is also related to weapons as well as jewelry and such.
Okay, I've already got 4 posted in there. I don't want to get too crazy.
Well, these are definitely especially good for discussing, for you guys to post while I am working on stuff here as well.
Yep. That lets you concentrate on the important stuff while we get stuff for later.
God, I so badly want to name that letting somebody else use your second wind. I so badly want to name that Get the Fuck Up. As a reference to Payday. Because it's just great, you know, you're sitting there on the floor, bleeding out from God knows how many bullet wounds, and somebody's just, get the fuck up! And you're like, oh, okay, you just get up. You know, back good to go. No bandages, nothing like that. Just, okay, they shouted at me. But I don't want to do that because, you know, we do have to have some professionalism with the system. But it would be funny.
5th one's posted.
Man, you are going ham.
I've got decades of RPG skills and books literally falling on me at the moment. Like, I could spit out this stuff until the cows come home. Of course, some skills you go, it's like, oh yeah, they're Pokemon based, so how many of them are going to be worrying about this particular thing versus, well, as critters, they'd be more interested in this.
Well, as far as that goes, the system is intended to be very open to any variety of species to be able to play. Like, I know Era's got ideas for a campaign where we will literally be playing humans. And that's okay.
Filthy humans. Ah.
Well, it might be anthros and such instead, but, you know, not just standard Pokemon. But that is an intended part of the system. Is it doesn't matter what you're playing. So if you've got an idea for those, throw them out there. Ooh, I like that, Carcerus. Definitely better than get the fuck up.
Okay, there's the 6th. It's the 7th. Eighth. Ninth. Yeah, I can't call this model squirrel because I think squirrel, and then I see this dragonish beast, and I go, That's another one of those dragon half-breeds we don't talk about the bard's been up to.
But I am squirrel. Yeah, I suppose you could call me Duke instead, but...
It's like,
It's squirrel.
what has the bard been with? That's what the bard's been with. Oh, great.
Raijin, I do have ideas for that, but not much. For the, enhancing the base types.
There, and 10th skill in, and feel free to giggle when you read it.
But here in the document, when we were first working on this system, we came up with racial type passives, which a lot of this is going to be tossed out. However, there are some things that we may keep. Like, we've got this, swarm tactics for bug types. Bonus die on accuracy to attack an enemy an ally has attacked since your last turn. Things like that. I do have ideas for incorporating some of this. For dragon type, fight or flee. The dragon challenges an opponent to a duel. They can either engage in a fight against the dragon with -1 to all attacks against others, or they can become fearful and run from the dragon, keeping their distance as best as possible. Yeah, I plan to turn these into feats, Key.
That sounds like noble sacrifice. Here, monster, come eat me. Me food. Yum, yum. Usually then immediately followed by some sort of defensive skill so you don't get eaten, but the dice are picky.
And, yeah, Gib Gab, that's kind of why we're going this route, is in making them feats. Instead of, like, some of these may stay to, you know, more specific racial-ish things. But they can still be good feats to utilize, because a lot of them are pretty good. One reason why I wanted to work on other things before feats, though, is I still haven't decided fully what I'm going to do with the martial arts system.
Everybody was kung fu fighting. Na 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 na.
Yes. And so I wanted to get a baseline of that before working on feats, so that way I can not have too much, you know, well, I've already done this here, so now what I'm going to put into the martial arts.
Night, Ido. Well, I mean, some of these is feats, you just take and put into martial arts. You know, just you have the idea now, so you could use it later.
Yeah, yeah. But I will say when it comes to this stuff, we will not have things that are going to be specifically, for lack of a better term, race locked. So, like in the case of this dragon one, just because you don't have the dragon type, or mythic as it is in the Scar system, it will be possible for you to pick this up anyways. We're going to be utilizing what I'm going to be calling affinities. It's the same thing that will allow you to buy moves outside of your typings for cheaper. In the form of, we've got these various types and such that you just have to purchase a feat to have the affinity for that, and then you can pick up all the feats that are associated with that type. And of course, if you start off as that type, you get them by default. You have the whatever types you start as, those affinities by default. Mr. Square Peg, yes. I do intend to have a print version of the Scar system at some point. So talking a little bit in the future here for the Scar system. Once we are at a point where I feel confident in the systems as they are to proceed, we will be doing a Kickstarter. And the intention is going to be to have a long-term setup for it all. But yeah, it is a system that I intend to have here for the long haul. It's not going to be a, one and done sort of thing, but at the worst, it'll be a print on demand. I already have Drive-Thru RPG is able to do print on demand, for example. I just want to also have a more luxurious form of the book rather than whatever they can do as print on demand. But some of that is a little down the line because I need to figure out how to actually do all that stuff in the first place.
And it's just you driving the bus at the moment.
Alright, see you later, Gib Gab.
Oh. Lurk will, stab stab. Soon it'll just be us. Us. At least you have plenty of ideas or fertile ground in your new channel right now. Lots of ideas have been thrown in.
I am very grateful for that, everybody. Very grateful.
I'd say, do we get a cookie? But I've already got cookies.
I don't even have cookies. Let's see.
I have to show up there sometime and cook for you.
I mean, Rex does a good job of that. It's just I don't have cookies right now.
Yeah, it's also end of the month, so it's like, yeah, you got other things that need the money. I know that song and dance too well. No, temperature has not gone up, silly thing.
But yeah, one problem with the, one reason why we will definitely need to do a, because I have done a lot of research into printing and such already. We definitely need to do a Kickstarter. Because I don't have the $1,000-some to get all of the different licensing and other nonsense that goes into these freaking things.
Yep, and making sure that you haven't tread on someone else's, trademarked word or phrase or skill or whatever nonsense. And that's always fun.
Yeah, the Kickstarter's primary thing isn't going to be so much funding the system as it is going to be funding all of the legal nonsense to actually publish something.
Yep, amen to that.
Because ISBNs are a thing that you are supposed to have when publishing a book. And every version of said book needs to have its own ISBN. You want a hardcover version? New ISBN. You want to have a softcover version? New ISBN. You want to have a special limited version that's printed in leather or something? New ISBN. Etc., etc., etc.
Yep. I have several game books that are like that. Oh, this is the limited edition, only made 600 hardcover in gold. Yep. Separate number for that one. The way your snout's moving, it looks like your character is quietly chewing on a cookie.
You what?
Yeah, and now your hand just moved up to your mouth. Yeah.
I am chewing on some crackers.
There we go.
Not a cookie, but crackers at least.
Yeah, I've got saltines too. I also got my garlic loaf in the freezer. I should take out later and make into a pizza.
Yeah, Carcerus, and yeah, it's something that, and each of those ISBNs cost about $1,000.
Oh, be well, Candy Floss.
Good night, Candy.
Looks like everyone's crashing at midnight tonight. Can't blame them.
Duke.
I got a big storm system sitting up north of me that's just stalled, so you can smell the rain, but it's not raining yet. So it looks like tomorrow all day will be just a downpour, which is fine. Nothing wrong with a walk in the rain with an umbrella. But the bed is full of nice things, Carcerus.
Hey there,
You're
Chaos.
like me, it's
And
furry dream.
Key, while I definitely appreciate you helping out here, please get some sleep. Please take care of yourself.
Yes. Sleepies are important. Take it from an old bear. Oh, congratulations, Chaos, and to Tochime as well.
What do you mean? Toshime did not say anything about that. Damn it. Well, happy birthday, Chaos.
Well,
And I am going to have words with
Well-
Toshime when I see him next.
Old. Yeah, you wait till you get up here, Chaos. Wait till you get up here. old. Probably the ripe old age of what, 22 or something? I'm old!
Ooh, cool, Key. I look forward to seeing what you come up with.
35. Oh, 35. That's not old. That's precious.
Yeah, Chaos, you're a little young compared to Pikesh here.
Yeah, there's a reason why the polar bear's fur has gone white. Ba-dum-bum. And the rain has started. Oh, good. It's really deep sleep tonight. Relative. If your mind is willing to be young and spongy, yeah, it makes your body feel that much better.
Well, yes, but when you are younger than by just mere minutes, does it really matter, Chaos?
There's a will, there's somehow a way. This is quite odd. I mean, considering how many people are normally in your chat or channel here, Zim, the fact it's just me is almost weird.
Yeah, just a bit.
I mean, all the rest are must be having an EP or something. Oh no, okay, so that one's streaming. Okay, so that's one.
Oh no, Raijin, Toshime and Chaos are actual twins.
Speaking of the Tochime,
There you are, Toshime! What the hell? How dare you not tell me it was your birthday? Happy fucking birthday! You wonderful bean, you!
oh, excuse me.
Ugh. Try to hide that from me. I will remember this, Toshime. Okay, no, I won't. I will absolutely forget by the time next year comes around that when your birthday is. Even if I put it in my calendar, I won't remember. I don't even have any freaking clue when my mom's birthday is, or most of my siblings. I know when one's birthday is because it's the day after the 4th of July, and it's kind of hard to forget, you know, the 4th of July. That's fair, Toshime. Well, either way, happy birthday, my friend. I think one of my other siblings is on Flag Day? I think that was the holiday that his birthday falls on. I don't remember for sure. And then one of my other siblings, I only remember his birthday because, well, it's the day after mine. 2 years apart, but happen to be, you know, a day apart. I could get into that, Raijin, but, yeah. Pretty much all of our birthdays were celebrated together. And yeah, yep, holiday birthdays suck. Or having a birthday in December sucks. Because, you know, you get all of the, it's like, you know, people are already spending a whole bunch of stuff on Christmas presents, and then it's like, oh, right, you've got a birthday. Here, have token thing. Oh. I'm still a little salty that my sister, when she asked for an iPad, or no, iPod, you know, she got that, and then it's like, Mom, that was like several $100s, and you gave me $50 worth of stuff? I realize Christmas is right around the corner, but come on. I am also a very big... I am very, very fervent about equality on things. It wasn't so much that I wanted gifts as it was I wanted things to be equal. I have many tragic things that I can share from my birthdays and Christmas and stuff. Well, I mean, if you spend $200 or $300 on one kid, you should spend the same on the other kid too. Otherwise, it's literally favoritism. Thankfully, no, I did not run into that, Raijin. But I did have to deal with getting compared to my brother multiple times. I know there was one, like, every year, you know, we go out to dinner. For birthdays, it was always go out to dinner. And one year, I wanted to go to the Cheesecake Factory for my birthday dinner. And the entire dinner, I had to sit there listening to my mom talk about all this stuff that she got to enjoy with Zach's choice. Because he was a veteran, and so he got this veteran discount for for his dinner, and how they did all this stuff because he's a veteran. He got this free thing because he's a veteran, and I'm just sitting here like, that's nice, Mom. I'm sorry I didn't go into the military. Throughout my entire birthday dinner. It also didn't help that that was the same year that I destroyed my knee, and, you know, I'm sitting there in pain and having not even wanted to really even go out in the first place. I would have been happy to just have it all brought home and just sit there playing video games or something at the time it was the Wii U. Actually, I think it was the Switch had just come out. Either way, I would have been happy doing that. Yeah. We are completely distracted from dev work. To be fair, I grabbed the code red and then never actually drank it. Yes, and I went and picked and grabbed it from the fridge, and then I got distracted, and, you know. There, I took a sip. Now maybe I can focus a little bit. Cleanse. You can remove one of each. You can use it as a quick action. Those were two different feats we were going to have done. Yeah, I suppose cleanse would probably fall under general more. No, Raijin! The fan art gives me motivation. Name for this. What were the two ideas? Duke. You should definitely hop back in the Discord, Chaos. Absolutely. Good night, Kenku. Yeah, Chaos, you gotta request to join. You join the waiting room and then you request to join. Yeah, I started off streaming with my voice chat locked down, and then a friend of mine was like, you really need to just open it up. It's annoying to have to get approval and all this other stuff to join the voice chat. And I'm like, ugh, fine. And I opened it up. A couple weeks later, I had somebody join in and just start screaming a bunch of racial slurs and stuff. And it's like, nope, not doing that again. Hello there.
Back.
Welcome back. I have gotten distracted again. But at least this time it's still Scar related. I saw a question in the Scar feedback and questions channel. Okay, we did only go up to...
What happens to your character if someone screams squirrel? I mean, do you look at yourself? Do you spin in a circle? Do you explode?
Possibly.
You have one. A squirrel! Yeah, drink from the fire hose.
Yeah, go for it, Toshime.
There we go.
Ochime! It's the Werryeen.
Hey, Zimber and Chaos.
Hello.
Well, we got a Werryeen in channel, so if we yell squirrel, does the Werryeen chase you? Or does he look for another squirrel? Does squirrel help find the other squirrel?
What do you mean, Werryeen?
Oh, they're Yeen. So quiet out there. Just now the gentle rain, which is going to last all night and all day.
And now to confuse everybody with our voices. Who is who?
Well, except for your mic being a little bit worse.
Yeah, I was gonna say, there's a difference in mic quality there. Also, I gotta say, I appreciate all of you out there in chat that even though I am sitting here doing something that I consider not the most entertaining, I still got a bunch of you out there. I appreciate you guys so much.
As a DM myself, I appreciate the spreadsheets. It gives me more ideas.
I have enough game systems to float for the next 30 years. I don't need more game systems. I need people. But thank you, COVID. Now nobody wants to get together in person anymore.
I have plenty of people that know absolutely zero besides how many sides a 20-sided dice have. I get to teach them everything.
Well, teach them that D4s make wonderful improvised caltrops and are better than Lego. And the hospital gets cranky when they have to pull one out of your foot.
It's even better when you can roll a d4 with your foot.
Oh, those round D6s, yeah, they go forever.
Okay, now pick up the D4 and let's see what it landed on. We play it where it lays.
You're allowed to work there, Raijin. Like, you know, work is important. It makes the food monies.
Yeah, it's not like you're required to do anything here.
No. Food monies, rent monies, money monies. And we put the Dungeon Master in the paint shaker. Look at him go.
Needed to test that out with the new model.
I think how he moves, it's like he's got an evil shadow about 1/2 second behind him that just moves a little out of sync.
Oh, you mean like this?
Yeah.
Oh, wrong button.
My shadow side is coming out. Is it? Is it not?
Not that one. That one! There we go. Now I really have an evil shadow. Mahahaha! No!
It has crackers.
I am the knight! Do not pet!
Pets, plushies, belly rubs.
I can also unfold the wings. Whee! You are now blocked.
Punk.
And the wings unfurl a little bit when you get the spin to win.
Oh yeah, I guess they do.
Your clothes have been stolen.
Hi, Orca.
Oh, and now we're wet. Aw.
Stealing my frickin' clothes. Let's see here. I am thinking...
You're a polka critter. How do you need clothes?
I like clothes.
It's called armor.
It is
Plus
also
one
armor.
rags.
Not rags. I worked hard to make them.
My loincloth of holding. Isn't it stylish? That's just a dead rat you've tied around your waist, dear. But it's tied.
They're shorts. And my cape. And my bracers and the pauldron. We're not rags.
Uh, 5e feats.
I do like stuff like that, Raijin. Those are fun flavor things. Definitely. Languages... I don't have plans to incorporate any particular language stuff in the SCAR system. If storytellers want to, that is up to them. Hi, Burrito.
Hello, burrito.
You know why rogues are so sneaky, right? Their
Why?
clothes are made of hide.
Yes, the punny twin.
I see.
Oh, here's the dungeon master reaching for his dice of punishment.
That's wrong, Dungeon Master.
I don't know, if he's driving the bus at the moment, that makes him the dungeon master. As long as he's not a short 3-foot balding gnome with long white hair that goes, I have a small task for you. That dungeon master can die in a fire.
But it's a classic.
Oh, it's a classic. I'll summon a bunch of complete nobody teenagers from another world and immediately say, I'd like you to take care of this deity and my evil archdemon kid. Go play.
That's total Gygax style.
Yeah, Gygax at times really blew hot and cold when it came to his dungeon mastering. Like, you'd have your Monty Hall dungeon, and then, oh, well, you guys say, Monty Hall? Fine, here we go. Have a lich in a dungeon called Tomb of Horrors with instant kill traps. There we go. I mean, he set the bar. Everyone else gets to try and jump under or over it.
Or if you're the barbarian, go through it.
Yeah. But it's kind of sad. Hasbro had the franchise, came out with the reboot, and destroyed it. I mean, granted, the last D&D movie was okay, and they did give the very token tribute to the kids, but it was a paycheck movie. Tomb of Horrors, my beloved. Yeah. Tomb of Horrors, the druid's worst nightmare. How many animals do we have to summon? Just keep pumping it down the hallway. Sooner or later, the traps will stop, and we can go down.
unless
which is better than the.
unless they keep running into the Orb of Annihilation.
Yeah, but then sooner or later you'll notice it's like this passageway. There's no bodies, no nothing, but there's this statue or whatever at the end. It's like, there's bad juju there. Don't bother. But I mean, it's better than the Stone of Annihilation. That one was absolute train wreck garbage module.
That was a death trap. That wasn't a game.
Oh, you've done that one?
Part of it, never finished it.
Well, you're not supposed to. It's basically the moment the adventure starts, you're to take your character sheets, burn them. You'll never see them again because the Dungeon Master is supposed to go, and now we're going to play 3rd edition. That's all that module was written for. It was to destroy 2nd by 3rd. Like, there was a very, very, very tiny chance you could get through it and save the universe of 2nd, but technically no one ever did. After I destroy all your most beloved characters painfully and in front of you, yeah. And supposedly that was playtested, and the players, quote, loved it. Sort of like the board game back in the 80s, where if you wanted to realistically simulate what war was like, you're to quote, and this is written in the game book, soak the map in gasoline, throw a match on it.
Are you talking about the war in Africa?
No, that it was one of those World War simulation games, but there was an expansion for, if you wanted to play World War III, here's how you set it up. Soak the map in gasoline, throw a match on it.
Ah.
It was like, this is how much interest I have in making a World War III variant of this game. There is none. There's a lot of weird games or game supplements over the decades that you just kind of scratch your head and go, how did this ever get out of playtest?
Or
like the one D&D book that has
tested.
I'm trying to remember the name of it, but the Book of Exotic something, basically where they finally put sex into D&D. And oh boy, was that a mistake. We've got a Xerox and stapled copy of it downstairs in the basement that we read every now and then just to laugh at. It's like, no, we didn't put this out. We gave the franchise to a third party who printed this, and we had no knowledge, and lies, because you proved it, because it wouldn't have been published otherwise, and it's got the print number on it, so someone at your company high up had to have read this, proved, and let them go publish it. I mean, it's a great book, though, for some really furry game ideas, if you got a dungeon master that way. Like, I can't even describe half the magic items in the book because, this is a PG stream. I mean, the poor innocent Dungeon Master's ears might, start burning when you start mentioning some of those items.
And the monetization just floats away.
Oh, no kidding.
There's also a build in there, along with something else, where you can make a magic user that casts Fist. Like, they literally, their strength is so high, they use strength as their magic, and they punch things. I did that once.
Yeah, there's always been weird side supplements and stuff. Then there's been good ones, like in second edition where they put out the "So you want to play" books, like the Noel one, which I have a copy of. I mean, who doesn't want to play, basically a 7-foot-tall giggling canine that, likes to, well, murder hobo?
Like I'm playing right now. Without the murder hoboing. For Ascent Descend.
Ah, that.
And then, of course, the Furry, Not Furry with Baldur's Gate 3, Seduction of the Druid. Like, no furries were involved in the making of this. Lies? Filthy, stinking lies?
That's when you don't know what a furry is.
I mean, the fact that this went through playtesting and then, the higher-ups went, well, what's this in the game? Oink the Bear. Okay, fine. Yeah, I'm sure the guy did that, when he got approved. It's like, yes.
They were drunk and they thought it was fun.
And of course, when he leaves that job and goes to his next job, and they go, well, what was your previous programming experience? I got to make Boink the Bear. You're that guy. Yeah, hired.
Oh, I signed an NDA. I can't tell you about it.
I mean, like that Korean animator in the... I can't remember the movie, but basically his entire animation career was he had to animate Dr. Manhattan's weenie in the movie. Like, that was his whole animation thing in the movie. Like, you're in charge of the thing.
Maybe we should move on from whatever this subject is. I've been focused on the system and not really paying attention to what you're talking about, but I have concerns.
You came back in the wrong moment.
It's a DMG to distract you with.
Take 3 psychic damage.
No, he's the one giving psychic damage. He's playing the twins.
No, psychic damage if he, when he was playing the twins, invoked the catchphrase, Wonder Twin powers activate. The most useless shapeshifter powers ever.
Okay.
Punishment, none.
Oh, that's for the prerequisite.
Oh, I thought that was the actual skill. It's like punishment. Oh, tell bad jokes and inflict 1 psychic damage to opposing Pokemon? No damage may be inflicted on the player if the pun makes the GM cry or wince or get a book thrown at you.
This is for
There.
somebody who tries to use cutting words or.
You may deal 1 damage to anyone that has made a bad joke or pun.
There we go.
Uh-oh.
Now everyone on your team take that skill, so everybody can do at least 1 damage.
Oh, that'd be horrible.
You make a bad pun and you get 5 points of damage coming at your face.
Everyone would do the Spider-Man meme. Point.
Yep. It was you! I do not go blah blah blah. It was you!
Honestly, I'm partially putting this in here just to see if Taldarius actually sees it.
He reads everything.
I know. It's also to see if he actually approves it. Or he comes in and is like, what the fuck is this?
We were talking about druid animations and suddenly this came up.
What is...
And remember,
for
we're
that.
supposed to tip now when we buy one of these new upcoming games because, you know, tipping is great for AAA games. Well, it depends. I mean, if your player class is a punster, then, you know, you get free reign to throw puns out for free.
Why not, Stradivarian? Why not?
I mean, they actually had that as a class in original D&D, in Dragon Magazine, the Jester. Then again, they also put out classes like the Time Lord, the Witch, the Anti-Paladin. Yes, I'm playing Dungeons and Dragons, and I'm a Time Lord. One person that was anti-paladin, another person was trying to be a Time Lord. Failed miserably. Anti-paladin was not bad. The old times, I still have the Dragon magazines in a Tupperware bin in the basement.
I haven't seen those in a while. I have like a Rubbermaid tote with all my magazines with like Nintendo Powers and old Game Informers and Dragon magazines.
Yeah, you got to protect that old history because they're just not making it anymore. I mean, even the Best of Dragon compilations are worth a pretty penny if you could find them on eBay.
I don't think any of my players are on this stream, but like I've got one player that's secretly a silver dragon. And I'm like, the only place I know where any of the stats for the silver dragon is in Dragon magazines.
Yep. Well, I mean, Greyhawk put out the quote Greyhawk dragon just so you could have dragons going into the cities. And then, of course, you know, they had half dragon everything, so, you know, that's where the druids originally started getting a bad rep.
Right.
Oh, dragon flies, dragon frogs, dragon this, dragon, like,
Dragonborn.
yeah.
Shut up. No.
Dragon squirrel.
Rar?
When Daddy Dragon likes Mommy Squirrel really, 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 really much,
They're a bard.
they're a bard. Yep.
You put them in the daycare, and an egg appears.
Like, look, squirrel, fly, be free. Thud. Oh, he's a bit young for flying. Yeah, Greyhawk had to be the lower fantasy because, of course, they had the other system where basically, you know, the gods were basically just high-tech humans from an alternate verse that basically mimicked his gods. And then those weird Greyhawk deities coming out where, I mean, their stuff was half tech, half spells, and their stats were so broken. I'm trying to remember the world system Stradivarian. It was supposedly one of the original ones where Gamma World / Space Invaders one first came from, and then Boot Hill, and then
Oh,
you know,
okay.
they
See you
decided
later,
to
Raijin.
make different versions. See you later, Raijin.
No, it wasn't Spelljammer.
No, but Spelljammer was another one of those weird magic high-tech spin-offs they tried to pump out. It's like, look, Blunderbuss wielding space hippos. What did you eat the night before to daydream that, buddy? Like, that's impressive. Like, this is what the characters were missing. Blunderbuss wielding space hippos. Yes. Card game that was supposed to be the great Magic the Gathering killer.
There's been several of those.
I mean, you know, at least they were innovative back then. Like, I mean, they were willing to go with these time store ideas, and they actually got back and go, like, you know what? Pump a buck or two out for it. Someone will buy it.
What are you eating? Agnes, what are you eating? Let me see. No, you can't have that. Well, that breaks my brain a little bit. The dog just destroyed a steel clip on the tail.
It was something to chew.
Except the steel should be stronger than her teeth.
You haven't run into Chinese steel before, have you?
Now she's looking at me all upset.
Now tell them what type of dog Agnes is.
She's a bull terrier. Butthead.
One of the highest jaw strength ratios for a quote dog. I think only hyena or jackal beats it. And of course, Wolverine enters the chat, and both of them bow down and cry. But I mean, hey, you know.
Well, yeah, but wolverines and hyenas aren't dogs.
Enough people, hyenas somehow are canine, so that's why I threw it in there.
Fair.
Let's go outside. Come on.
But I
Go
will
outside.
not accept wolverines as being considered canines because they are mustelids.
Come on.
But Wolverine was, when we're
Okay.
I'm basing on jaw strength. Sorry, Gar. Or Chaos.
You're good.
I was talking to the dog.
Oh, okay.
But
Yeah, they
Wolverine
want
would
to
be
try
scary.
to restart that again. PSR thinks that Spelljammer 2.0, the card game, will be a great addition to Magic the Gathering.
No.
That was short and sweet.
I'm looking forward to Assassin's Creed. I've actually found a store that will let me reserve it, and I already have a full box reserved, and the new Master set, but no Spelljammer. I like Spelljammer. I like Magic. No.
For me, it's Bloomburrow. First actual set in many years, I'll actually buy boxes of rather than just, I'll buy 6 cards that I think are nice and ignore the rest of the set.
Yeah, I want Bloomburrow, except I don't expect the value to be super high. I mean, I already see preview cards that are going to be worth actual money, but like most of them are not going to be high value cards, and I'm going to have a full set. I'll just go out and buy them secondhand. Maybe
I don't care.
Maybe buy a box.
Yeah, I'm not getting them for the value. I'm getting them for my furry kick.
Yeah, and then for me, I can trade for them. I've got like a front room full of cards.
Yeah, I could trade for him too, but it's like, depending on how expensive they are. Like, I mean, I'm gonna wait a month or two while they're out so I can see all the cards are there and go, it's like, okay, is it still worth buying a box or just some starter decks or X packs?
Yeah, it's like I have a Fox Commander deck that needs more foxes, but like I'm sure I can buy those as singles. See, I still need some of the Infinity cards and more Kamigawa.
Oh, good luck for Kamigawa. Oof.
Yeah, I've got most of like the early 2000s, like the original 3 sets, but like Neon Dynasty.
There's a bear card from one of those Kamigawa sets that I like to get, but it's like, it's $45 for a generic bear. No thanks.
Well, I was buying people's collections of Kamigawa. I probably have like 2 or 3. When I find them, do you want me to send you one?
If you don't mind and you don't need it, sure. I won't say no.
Literally. It might just be like in a hard sleeve in an envelope, but
Yeah.
if I find it, I can send it to you.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. I mean, I've got a bear commander deck. I'm trying to make like actually all bears, and then the other deck's going to be with that commander that turns everything into bears, and then just go, well, I can throw whatever I want in there.
Oh yeah, throw like Bearscape in there and stuff.
I know I have ideas for a card game based on the Scar system. Except instead of summoning monsters, your deck will be basically weapons, armor, moves, etc. that you play. And you have a predetermined party that you go into the fight with.
I thought it was going to be based on you summon random humans and you have the humans battle while the Pokemons go, finally, now it's our chance.
Nope.
Like, oh, I summoned a 13-year-old kid with a baseball cap, and I say, you go beat up that guy over there. And he's like, what?
Wait, now you're making Power World game?
My Ash Scratching versus your 52-year-old bus driver. Go! And I still remember the original Digimon cartoon when it came on TV, and that was like, wow, this is cool. Oh, minifig prices, yeah, Lego, period. Yeah, that's pretty much it, Stradivarian. I mean, jokingly, that's why Lego is trying to buy up old Lego sets to recycle to make new, because, you know, they don't want them to go to a landfill. It's more they want to destroy the old Legos because, you know, why not? Make them more rare.
It's like
Because, you know, kids our age used to get... Go ahead.
I go to like liquidation stores and discount places, and we have like second runs of the Lego sets. They have them like $5 or $10 instead of the $50, $60 they were, even on clearance. I'm like, I buy it. I take the regular brick pieces out and I put them like in a bin, and then I take the minifigs, keep the ones I want, and then sell the minifigs for more than what I paid.
I mean, what I was gonna say, I mean, when Lego back in my day, it was like you know you bought the 1,000-piece bucket for $20 and your kids could play forever. Now it's like a 20-piece item could sell for $100 because it's some, you know, oh, it's a Harry Potter limited print, or it's, you know, it's got a gold brick in there, or whatever their new patch is.
The stupid thing is the Star Wars ones are so valuable, and that's just like a gray brick. There's nothing really special.
Yep. But unfortunately, a lot of those sets were piece intensive. Like if you lost one specific angled piece or triangular or whatever the shape was, it's like, well, you're having to scour another set or find someone lucky enough that's selling bits. Or now,
Yeah,
of
the
course,
Star
3D
Wars
print.
ones had a lot of very custom pieces to them.
And that's really driving collectors nuts, is they're buying these sets and finding, yeah, they were missing pieces, but someone's just 3D printed them, and it's generic gray. It looks like the piece. It's got the holes. It'll match, but it's not authentic Lego.
Right.
Or like
Or the
that
people-
Millennium Falcon that we found next to the trash can.
Yeah.
Someone just threw it out.
Well, I had a friend give me a full trash bag of stuff that he found on the side of the highway. I don't know why he was on the side of the highway picking up trash bags, but there was a whole bunch of like Star Wars toys. They weren't in like super great shape, but like I sold some of the figures for quite a bit of money.
Yep. It's like old game books. They're just not being made anymore. And the ones that are out there, your chances of getting them in a mint condition are pretty slim. And that's why I buy up old board games and turn around and flip them, because a lot of those old games is like, well, companies like Hasbro bought the company and killed it.
Stop
Or
manufacturing.
figures. A lot of the like pieces or minifigs, especially Monopoly. Like when I get them for weight or something, just pick them apart, take the pieces or the dollars. Some of those Monopoly dollars, it's weird. Like they didn't print that many of like certain ones.
Yeah, and collectors want the the first runs of a lot of games because it was like, well, that's when the best parts were there because they were quality.
Right. Or like I'll use Monopoly pieces as minis or as tokens. If I need a dog, I'll take the dog out of the Monopoly set. There you go. It's a 1/1 dog.
Well, for
I
me,
haven't
that's my
had
hero
any
clicks.
I've got those too.
I've got
I've
about
got so many
1,000.
people. Like I've never been able to play Hero Clicks, but I've had so many because people just got out of it. I'm like, I
I
can
was
use
lucky
it
I got to play.
for character.
It was fun back in the early days when they actually had prizes at stores that you could play for. There were some good figures.
Yeah, I got some of those too. Like I had the Fin Fang Foom, the giant one. That sat on my shelf forever until I traded it to a friend who wanted it for a D&D campaign.
Yeah, I think I got man, one of the Mark X Sentinels, where it could actually had the changeable hands, so it could hold two figures, and you had to hit it carefully because otherwise, well, if your attack missed, you shot the character it was holding. It was an interesting scenario. Yeah, that's.
I wanted the Starro. Like I saw that like on a game store shelf for the longest time, and then one day it was just gone, but I never saw another one.
Yeah. Those old game stores, you never know what's sitting in a nook and cranny until you go digging.
Right. There's a few of those. There's one of them. This one old guy that's been doing it for 40 years, and he has his entire building is just completely full. It looks like a hoarder house, and then he's
Oh.
got a storage unit that he only takes that stuff to conventions, and then his house is full too, apparently.
There was
Like-
a store in the mall back in Utah that was like that. It was just a mess of... You could barely fit through anywhere in there. It was a complete and total mess of all sorts of retro consoles and accessories and games and movies, magazines, you name it. And it was some kind of electronic or electronic adjacent or entertainment thing. They probably had it. The problem was finding it.
Yep.
Right. I think I went there once. It sounds so familiar.
I know when I was living in the area at the time, they had two parts of the mall. And then the last time I went there, they had expanded across the hallway, and there they had an arcade and even more stuff over there. Who knows what they're doing nowadays? But it was really cool to go in there and just see all of this stuff.
That also reminds me of a place that I saw when I was visiting a friend in St. George. There was the store down there called Gamer's Gate.
Suddenly the quiets.
Sorry, I went right back to work.
Oh, no problem. I'm just,
Duke.
we all went quiet at the same time. It was like, oh, I guess Rob and snack or drink break.
I'm sorry, I speak too much.
Mystery hand is being duked. Nom nom.
That's done.
Back to your box with your one tissue. One. We're rationing toys today. You get a tissue.
Do more. Look, why you like?
At least thankfully that trend has died at almost all fur cons I know of. People trying to bring their emotional support, insert exotic animal here, and it's like, no.
But it's my emotional support human.
I've seen emotional support snake, emotional support fox. That poor thing was scared spitless. I think the snake escaped, and then they egged us to find it, and we're all like, it was in your room. Unless you threw it at somebody or decided to leave it somewhere, that's your problem. They ever did find the snake.
Oh, I was misspelling this entire time.
Yeah, I think there's been at least one American FurCon where there was their emotional support skunk, and it's like, as long as it's descented. It's just, most hotels, like, it just can't cover these critters under their insurance. Like, if they get out and start
Hi,
digging
Blood
into
Wolf.
something...
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, most cons of their insurance won't cover having an exotic animal in the premises, and then when the hotel finds out, it's like, it is out of here. So, yeah. Thankfully, that trend seems to have stopped.
Duke.
Do I have 2 instant? Oh, I do. Okay.
Oh, look, it's a little bundle of Duke. Donut Duke.
Enjoy your stay.
Hello there. Thank you very much for that follow. Welcome. Oh, I must have been echoing off of someone.
Yeah, the echo suddenly disappeared, so I was like, oh, someone.
That's me. I'm trying to play Fallout 76 and get Discord running on either my phone or my computer.
Oh, you are very quiet.
Yeah, because he was away from his mic while saying that.
Ah, okay.
Oh yes, world news. It's a volcano. You can't stop it. That's the news.
Volcano?
Yeah, there's a volcano in Italy getting ready to pop, and this one lady keeps reporting on going, "Oh, the people are unprepared. We have to do this." And it's like, it's a volcano. It's going to pop when it wants to pop. Otherwise, you can't do anything. Like you can't drill into it to release the pressure, or pour concrete to seal it in, or any of these other ding dong ideas that she occasionally likes throwing out. Unfortunately, it's a. Oh, go ahead.
Try whatever you want. It's not going to do much.
No, especially when it's a super volcano. And I had to warn my sister about it because she's air stewardess, and it's like, yeah, if you're flying anywhere down there, just make sure you keep your ear to the radio, because, you know, things don't do well in volcanic ash. As the Jakarta glider found out many years ago. But thankfully, that plane landed safely.
And we won't have to worry about anything if a certain volcano goes off around here. Yellowstone.
Oh,
Hot
yeah.
spot.
We'll all be dead.
Well, that's the same with this one. It's Campi Flegrei in Italy. If it was just St. Helens, that'd be okay. But this one's, depending on what level it goes at, because it can go all the way to the top. It takes out the city, it takes out the boot, or it just takes yes out. And I said, this lady keeps making these videos, like, I think she's up to 2 or 3 a day, and it's like, oh, well, we could try this, and we could do this, or clearly we could do that. And it's like, where's the money come from? This technology doesn't exist, and it's already plugged. Pouring concrete on it won't do diddly. But, you know, as you said, you got to make those clicks to, you know, make that those YouTube dollar or penny.
Well, yeah. Pouring concrete on it will give a little bit extra. When it does blow, it's going to cause a little bit more shrapnel in the air.
It's one of those, is like, it's cute to look at, and I've read up enough on it, and it's like, yeah, if she does go, I'm not worried. Like, I just worry, as I said, for my sister, because if she's in a plane nearby, it's like, yeah, you knock politely on the door, tell the pilot, you know, to burn those engines and go that way. And the other one, of course, is Tesla's upset because people are crying about the inferior quality of his Cybertruck. I mean, if it shorts out going through a car wash, it's a junk car.
If people are stupid enough to test their hands on the closing trunk.
Oh, yeah. Oh, that guy was lucky he just broke fingers. It's like, why would you buy one of these things in the first place? Oh, well, I want to have a cool, unique vehicle. Yeah, and good luck getting repairs. Like, I mean, his normal Tesla cars are pretty okay. The Cybertruck is Eon's very special little baby. Or as someone put it, it's like it's what if Homer Simpson was in that episode and yeah, he got to design a car and was forced to put it out to the public. Like 14 cup holders. What a great idea. And of course, there's no talk about the Cybertruck that poor Pepsi's got an order with, and I think Pepsi's trying to get out of fulfilling the rest of the order, because they're just garbage trucks.
And then whatever's happening on
They
with
gotta-
Twitter.
Oh, well, you mean X? Now that he's made it official, it's X. Twitter sold last year.
But I had a character named X before he changed the damn name. I should have copyright.
Chaos.
Yeah, but he's got.
I can barely hear you, and
Your
we're getting
mic.
echo off of you.
Yeah, but he's got $50 billion and no scruples in squashing small taters like us. I mean, look at Boeing.
Honestly, at this
Right.
point, I feel like there are some sites that are so intrinsic to the general populace. Like, as much as I dislike it, Facebook is one of those.
Spark, yeah.
Facebook, Twitter, Google, things like that, those that are so intrinsic to culture and society as a whole, that literally those sites just going down the next day, you know, if any of those sites went down tomorrow, it would cause legit damage to a lot of the society. And I feel like they should have some form of almost like treating them similar to utilities.
You gotta pry it out of their cold, dead hands first.
Yeah.
Considering
But-
Google's worth close to $1 trillion, they could buy off anyone who tries that.
I'm more referring to, in particular, Twitter. Like how he's trying to
Well-
turn it into X. Or officially has turned it to X, but you know.
He's turned it into crud, is what he's done.
Yes.
But
It's
this is
still
what happens
running.
when you... barely. But this is what happens when you give a 5-year-old daddy's credit card and no control.
I know at this point I seriously have very good reason to just completely stop using it altogether, considering one of their recent updates broke the little hotkey thing that I had set up on Opera GX, so now it's a pain for me to get on there to post that I'm live, so I've got even more reason to just ditch it and be done.
I got ditched in 2020 because I called out somebody about drinking bleach as a cure for COVID. I haven't missed it since. Ah, yes, that Switch Stradivarian. Yeah, that was mentioned, I think 2 days ago. Very sneaky of them. TSCM, I think it's called. Yeah, the world's largest chip maker, basically. Yeah.
Hey, wait, that's Idaho.
Oh yeah, and that's Idaho. Yeah.
Potato chip maker. Haha.
Crucial and Micron are both based in Idaho.
Of course, they just found another giant lithium deposit in Pennsylvania, so suddenly Pennsylvania thinks it's worth umpteen $billion. It's like, if it's in the ground, it ain't worth diddly. Gotta get it out, gotta refine it, and it's worth money. See, once in my life though is Taiwan, because it looks so pretty over there. That in Japan. But of course, Japan, I'd be too tempted to come back with entire suitcases full of Robotech stuff, but oh, excuse me. Something like that, Stradivarian, yeah. And they were also a certain country's biggest, most technologically advanced makers of fun toys, which is why someone wants it back. Well, that's just the world as it turns. And there's still quite a lot of good things out there, but yeah, there are some bad that, you know, what can you do?
Whatever you can do.
Yeah, that's it exactly. Like, I mean, this is the best we can do is do YouTube streams and toss bad jokes at our Dungeon Master. Hey, we're living. If that means once a week sacrificing a pizza to the Dungeon Master's, you know, avarice so that he generously gives us a +1 on a dice roll, hey, that works. Those days. They were good pizzas. Oh, I don't worry about going full Henderson. It's going full Jim Henson's Dinosaurs. For a kid's show, that was dark.
Biggest oopsie on television.
Like, and how does this kid series end? come into the screening room, sir. You may want to see this. Yeah, it was amazing what that show got away with. I mean, I'm pretty sure it still holds the record for most grim, dark kids show ever put on TV.
And hey, you want some Wilkins coffee to go with it?
Don't know that one, but
It's Old Muppets.
oh, okay. I mean, great show. The fact it was Jim Henson was surprising to do something that grimdark. And I don't think they had anything quite as grimdark until basically Gravity Falls.
Gravity Falls was such a good show. Man, I loved it.
Gravity Falls was wow. I mean, it started off like Jim Henson's thing, like, oh, it's sweet and innocent and weird and adventurous, and then it just went, well.
Don't forget, buy gold.
Or Adventure Time.
Oh, Adventure Time was more toony. They tried to avoid it until, again, towards the end, and then, yeah, they ripped the bandages off.
Adventure Time was one of those that was a secret gem of a show. Like, at face value, it looks like an absolute, just another one of those dumb kids shows that they, you know, that just keep getting released and pumped out through, you know, the industrial process. But then if you actually watch it, it's like, hang on a sec. This is actually good. What the fuck? There's actually a lot to this. What?
Yeah, and all that grimdark they got away with on a kid's show because, well, the adults weren't really paying attention, were they? It's like, what happened to make Adventure Time? Oh, well, there was the Great Mushroom Contest, and everyone tried to grow the biggest and best mushroom possible. And then, you know, well, things fell apart. Uh-huh. Yes, the Mushroom Contest, yes. I found was more kidsy. Gravity Falls was more adult, it seemed.
I will definitely agree on that. Like, Adventure Time was something that was... The depth of it was hidden away. You definitely did not see it at face value. But at Gravity Falls, you could see the depth of that world very... you can see it very easily. The amount of lore that goes into it. Whereas, you know, like I said, Adventure Time was... It was piecemeal, it was scattered, you didn't really even realize that there was anything to it until suddenly it's like, wait a sec. That's connected to that, which is connected to that, which is connected to that, and now you've got a string board going on of conspiracies.
Yeah. Or, you know, suddenly, oh, this makes a lot darker, grimmer sense when you really put all the pieces together and go, oh, yeah. But again, it's like, what did you eat the night before to come up with Bill? Like, the Illuminati guy. Like, that's just so out there.
Oh yeah, Strato. Actually I think, wasn't Gravity Falls only 2 seasons?
No, 3.
Oh, it was 3?
Yeah,
Oh,
because
right.
3 was basically fighting pyramid guy.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, Adventure Time had legs. It was surprising. Yeah, Bill, cipher that. Oh, guy.
The triangle guy.
Triangle Man, Triangle Man. The world with a frying pan.
Particle Man, Particle Man.
I still love that Tiny Toons got to do that Istanbul spoof of it. Just a shame a lot of those old cartoons are pretty much gone forever, or you're finding them on some bootleg.
YouTube.
Yeah, but YouTube could be considered bootleg because it's, it's not officially been released. Looney Tune Kids, yeah.
There is a DVD set of it, but like it's ungodly expensive.
Yeah, there's DVD sets of other cartoons as well, but I mean, even those is still technically have censorship in them. Like for Tailspin, there's 2 episodes that I don't think are on the DVD because they were bad. And one of them that I remember is Panda Law, where they find the secret lost world of Panda Law.
I might have one of those on like VHS recording. I remember that.
Yeah. And back then, we didn't think anything of that episode. It's like, oh, great, they're pandas and they got fireworks, and this is pretty cool. But then certain countries saw that and just went thermonuclear. Of course, Pepe Le Pew. Well, we don't talk about Pepe Le Pew anymore. Oh yeah, that episode is no Stradivarian because a certain country. No.
Or Speedy Gonzalez and Slowpoke Gonzalez. You'll never see
Yep.
Slowpoke, even though I
Yep,
love
he's
his.
gone. And any of the Daffy, sorry, not Daffy, geez, Bugs Bunny episodes where he was in drag, gone.
Or the really racist ones like the blackface or.
Oh yes.
But that's obvious.
But that was the thing, Stradivarian. I watched the episode back then as a kid, and I was like, "This is a cool episode." And then suddenly afterwards, it was like, "Why is this not on the lineup? And why is this not mentioned?" And then, as an adult, I was educated as to why. I went, "Oh." Today's kids will never get it unless it's a bootleg. but even more innocent shows like Reboot, they had the American version and the Canadian version, and the American version had to be censored because, well, things.
Right.
Well, politics got in the way, which is why there's certain episodes if you see in Canada, you go, oh, that's why they did that. Ah, yes, because of ABC. Yeah, that's why there's occasional shots like, oh, those treacherous dogs. Oh yes, backstabbed again. Yes, those ABCs, can't trust them. Ah, what's ABC? Oh yes, the American Broadcasting Company. Ha ha ha.
Back up all the sensors.
Yeah. So Canada got to see the full version, whereas the Americans get to see stuff. And then there's the cartoon movie that I suggested to Razim a couple weeks ago, Rocket Rule. And there's two versions of it. There's the Canadian version, which is okay, and then there's the American censored version, which didn't make any sense, but there it was.
Rock and Rule and Cool World both are so fun to watch, but you'll never see them on TV.
Nope. That'd be a great video night, actually, a double feature of those two.
Right?
Can't even show them at a FurCon. They're too adult for FurCons.
Well, that depends on how big the con is.
Oh yeah, there were some lines that slipped through that both sides got, but towards the season ending is where, several episodes had to get changed because, well, there's the American side and then there's the Canadian side. And the Canadian side, we were allowed to do this. The American side, well, because they backstabbed us, literally, with the funding. That's why all those little ABC and other jokes got stuffed in there and certain things didn't make sense.
And then there's Wizards.
Ralph Bashke's Wizards.
Yeah. Ralph Bashke, I love his animation, but... Ooh.
Here's a little trick that Mom showed me while you weren't around.
And I'm
God,
glad
this
you
is what
changed your
happens-
name.
Yeah.
Or Fritz the Cat. Let's watch Fritz the Cat.
Yeah, there's another one.
But not Fritz 2, because that was not good.
I don't think there's any FurCons that even do the Saturday morning cartoon stuff anymore, because you just get one of those big companies come out saying, we didn't give you permission to show those cartoons, you must pay a royalty fee. And it's like, you know what? No.
If you have the right waiver, then you can get away with it.
Yeah, and good luck getting that rights waiver.
Oh, no. No, the right name waiver. Like, and if it's a small enough convention. Because I've done it before.
Well, yeah, you can get away with it, but I mean, if you get twigged,
Yeah.
I mean, our good friend Disney, how kind and gentle they are in understanding. Wink, wink. I mean, the fact that those suitors got cease and desist notices just out of the blue, it's like, no, you must destroy those suits, you must revoke using that name, destroy all footage, and eat your first baby, or else we'll just sue you to death.
Nuke it from orbit.
Yeah. Good old understanding Disney. What a sweetheart company. What they did to that poor animator for Brother Bear. Oof.
Oh god, that was so unfair.
Yep. I've got the comic that has the doodle in it too, in circles. I think it's issue 3? That's how obscure you can be, and still, it only needs one person to drop it, and then a company comes out of nowhere and tack nukes you. Basically, he did a doodle of a character for Circles, and Circles is a all-gay furry comic. Tiny print run, like at most 3,000. But he was an animator on the Brother Bear movie. So someone noticed the art style, twigged the name, put two and two together, and decided, I want to thank him. So they apparently wrote to Disney, mentioned the comic, mentioned the animator, and said, they'd like to give personal thanks or whatever for doing the doodle or whatever. Disney realized what the doodle was in and promptly went tack nuclear. As I said, good old understanding Disney. Sweethearts.
Yeah, just make sure to lock everything up in the vault.
Yep.
Alright. I think I've reached a spot where I am gonna go ahead and end for the evening, everybody.
EP time.
Very, very much thank you, Pakesh and Chaos and Toshime, for chatting with the chat and stuff while I was working and completely in the zone here. Oh, right, Stream Raiders. Should probably open and give those rewards out. Oops.
That's what you hired us for.
But yeah, thank you everybody for joining us today for this DevTales stream. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Patreon, and more. There on the website, as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, tippers, and subscribers. It is your support that keeps this channel alive and going. I cannot do this without your guys' help and support, so thank you. Consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. It's one of the best ways to support the channel, though you can also do so by picking up some merch over at zgfgaming.store, such as the brand new type emblem merch that we just released today in full. Well, we were releasing it, over time, but Anyways, thank you so much for joining. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube, and I bid you all the most fondest adieu.
Adieu.
Bye.
Bye-bye.